Step by step, day by day. And Scott Stapp, that guy from Creed. Did you know that every Creed song was based on an ep of Step by Step? You probably didn't, so now shut up and learn. It's time for Step by Step.
Hey everybody, welcome to Step by Step, the podcast. I am one of the hosts of the show, Chris McCarthy.
I'm the other host of the show, Rob Haddon.
Oh my God, he jumped in. I wasn't expecting that. I actually didn't even see you there. And that startled the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, we never talked from the moment I walked in the door. I just came in, sat down, no words exchanged.
Well, hey, thanks for coming, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You want to talk about the regular stuff on the podcast, like Step by Step and Creed?
Yeah, but you know what? Why don't you explain a little bit about what this show is, about?
That's a great idea. So here's what it is. It's a podcast, and we talk about, if you remember TGIF, you probably remember certain things like, I don't know.
It's always Friday.
Well, it will be Friday at some point. And then at like 8 o'clock, what's going to happen is Full House is going to come on. And then what's going to happen after that? Probably Family Matters. And then 9 o'clock rolls around. Step by Step.
We're talking pre-DVR here, okay? This was sit down with the fam on the couch.
Appointment television.
That's right.
And then maybe hanging with Mr. Cooper, maybe Boy Meets World, depending on which universe you're in.
Yeah, if you were in the universe with hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Right. So
or if you're in the universe with...
It's one of the Mandela effects, people remember one or the other. Nobody has experienced both. For me, I'm a hanging with Mr. Cooper guy all the way.
And I'm a Boy Meets World guy.
Right, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
I keep talking about Topanga, and you're like, who?
Yeah, that means nothing to me, and I'm, of course, talking about Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, which, who gives a shit?
The only explanation is that there are multiple universes, and we're moving between different universes depending on what day it is and what happens with the Large Hadron Collider.
The Large Hadron Collider?
Yes. And this is a thing, and we won't get into this now, but Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I'm not a listener of that podcast, but a YouTube clip popped up and it said, Tom DeLonge explains alien technology to Joe Rogan. And I was like, well, if I ain't watching this, what am I doing on this earth?
Well, so you watched the podcast?
Yeah, it's a video podcast.
Oh, cool.
So I clicked
It's just
it.
called a show.
Well, it's mostly an I think he gets most of his hits from the iTunes and stuff.
Yeah.
But you could watch it. They film it. So I click it and I'm watching Tom DeLonge explain with such conviction UFOs and how they're real and how time travel works and everything and all sorts of just insanity. And he's just like, yeah, and that's why I don't play music anymore. And this is what I do now in life. And so anyway, my point is now I believe everything he says.
Great. So that sounds like a bunch of weird conspiracy theory bullshit, but you know what is not conspiracy theory bullshit? The fact that Scott Stapp wrote all his songs about the show Step by Step,
Yes.
which came on before either Hanging with Mr. Cooper or Boy Meets World.
Correct, Rob. And that's what this podcast is about. And yeah, this is not a conspiracy. This is, well, we've proven it, I think.
It's a theory.
It's a theory, but it's a theory sometimes is accepted in the world of science.
Becomes a law.
And that's what this podcast is. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about the step-by-step episode where Cody reads to children and Frank gets a side job. So, of course, everyone remembers that. And that's going to be really funny to talk about. And then we're going to talk about a Scott Stapp or a Creed song as well, of course. But first, I wanted to catch up on something which is a favorite segment of ours. It's called Let's Check Our Voicemail. And we got another voicemail.
Yeah, from someone different this time.
From someone else. And this person did not say their name.
They didn't. So we have no idea how to get in touch with them.
So we don't know who they are, but they did leave us a nice voicemail. So a few episodes ago, we played a voicemail. And then at the end of that voicemail, we asked if anyone else wanted to leave one. We asked people to abide by a certain criteria. They had to, one, apologize to us for not leaving a voicemail before. And then they had to tell us that we were the best podcast. And then we asked them to tell us a thing about themselves that has improved from listening to the show, how we've have helped their life. And
they did this of their own volition, I have to say.
Oh, yeah, we didn't force anyone,
No.
if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, no.
People at home.
We'd have more voicemails.
Well, I would make everyone do it if I could. Obviously, I can't because no one does it. But this person did, and we're going to play that right now.
Hey, Rob and Chris. Sorry I haven't left you a voicemail. You guys are the best podcast, and I realized that I've learned a lot about myself and from it, and you've given me a lot of confidence.
Okay, and now, hey, that is a textbook how you leave a voicemail, right?
One critique, he didn't say goodbye. He just hung up.
Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it?
That is.
And it's like, so sure, you didn't say your name. He says, hey, Rob and Chris. How about, hey, Rob and Chris, it's me, blank. And then go into the rest of it was fine, I guess. You said, just want to say you're the best pod. Yeah, fine. That's exactly.
Yeah, we know that, though.
Yeah, and we already did. We did know that. And we gave you more confidence. Of course we did.
Yeah.
But say goodbye next time. Do you not know manners?
Raised in a barn?
Yeah, because you know how in barns no one ever says goodbye and they're just like slamming barn doors all the time?
Well, they're not even slamming them. No one's closing doors.
No one's even closed. Yeah, it's exactly. People are just like, hey, feed the chickens. And they go, nothing. No one ever replies. That's the big problem with farms these days.
There's a lot of problems these days, but I'll tell you what. People not saying anything on farms, that's the biggest problem we have.
I would say it's one of the, if not the biggest problem facing this nation. But anyway, thanks for your voicemail. So if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can at, why don't we just give them the number, Rob? It's 209 Stapp It, otherwise known as 209-782-7748. So please leave us a voicemail, and we promise we won't make fun of you unless you forget to say goodbye, of course, in which case it's fair game.
Also, please, guy who left us a voicemail, tell us your name.
Yeah, if that guy can call back, please, and here's all I want. I want a voicemail that is just 2 seconds. One, I want him to say his name and then say goodbye.
Well, hey, Chris and Rob, this is blank.
Nope.
You want him to just fill in the blanks from the previous voicemail?
Yes, I want the call, and I want him to just say, Joe, goodbye. That's all I want.
Yeah. That's all I think we need, because then what we can do is edit that voicemail and properly play it.
Right. So what we'll do is
subsequent episode.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll drop that in, and then I'll play that voicemail in full as if it was. We're giving you a second chance here, Joe.
You have a shot at redemption.
This is your second chance, even though I will not edit this part out, so everyone will know that you are rude. You have a chance to at least make up for it in a future episode. And if somebody maybe didn't listen to this one, now they don't think you're rude. So we're giving you a crack at this, Joe, and please call us back. And anyone else, new listeners, please also call us back. Anyways, back to what is the very serious topic at hand, Rob.
Oh, Stapp theory.
Which is Stapp theory. And that is that we are going to talk about the episode of Step by Step where Cody teaches kids how to read. Then we were going to relate it to a song.
That's right.
And so then we were saying, well, what song does this correlate to? And we have a whole process. And normally that process is very involved, and we don't bother the listener with the details of how we arrive at the song and which song is about which episode. But it is a methodical procedure that we do every couple of weeks. And Rob, this week I left it up to you to find the song that correlates to this episode. So what you got?
You left it up. You left it up to me?
Yeah. Did I stutter?
No, I did.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Because I was quite nervous, because it's kind of like, forgetting your homework or something.
Yeah. Don't you remember the text? I texted you. I'm reading it right now. It says, hey, Rob, kind of busy. Can you find the song this week? And you know what you wrote back?
Probably maybe like the eggplant emoji and the water squirting, and then probably before the eggplant, the two cherries.
That's exactly actually what you wrote. And so I took that to be yes.
Yeah, that means jizz off.
Oh, interesting. And that's a phrase that people would know?
No.
Okay, so that's a phrase that you've invented that you then created a symbol for.
The symbol came first and the meaning came second. I just like the way it looked.
And you wanted me to interpret that somehow.
Well, yeah, figure it out.
Well, I didn't. I thought you did the song.
Why would that mean, yeah, I'll do it?
Why would it mean
Wouldn't
jizz
it
off?
give you like the thumbs up symbol?
I don't know. I thought you were weird.
I am weird.
Yes, clearly.
That's what you get.
Well, but the point stands. We don't have a song, you're saying?
No, I haven't looked at it at all.
So the whole process that we normally do, where we pick the song.
Where you and I go into the lab
Yes.
and we sit down and we
Yes.
listen to reels and reels and
Yes.
reels of CDs.
And we're mixing chemicals.
Well, yeah.
And we're doing real alchemy.
Yes.
Trying to come up with this connection.
Well, we melt down the CDs, right?
Yeah, yes.
And we burn them because you need them to go through a form change.
Yeah, CD minus R.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this means only one thing, and I'm sorry, listeners, we're going to have to take... Well, it's time to take a break anyway. But we are going to take a break. But what's going to happen, and I have no other choice, we're going to have to take the podcast down to the lab and just figure out the song on the fly. Is that okay with everyone?
I take it by your silence that you're all okay with this. If you're not okay with this, please call 209-STAPPIT. That's 209-STAPPIT.
That's 209-782-7748. So after this break, we're going to talk about the episode of Step by Step where Cody reads to kids, and we're also going to bring you into the Step by Step laboratory to show you how we pick the song for each episode, how the sausage is made, as they say, right?
Yeah, because they make sausage in labs.
Step by step.
Oh boy, when nature calls, Ryan really listens, huh?
Cody, come here.
What's up, dude?
That's not why he's running away. He's kind of embarrassed because he can't read very well.
Oh, wow. Reading problems at the library, huh? That's kind of like being at 31 flavors and having no taste buds.
All right, so that was a clip from the Step by Step episode where Cody teaches little kids how to read. But more important than that, and we will get to that, more important than that is that we're kind of in crisis mode here, Rob and I, because we normally have a song picked that correlates to the episode. And this week, we didn't get to do it. So here we are. We've brought you down. We brought the microphones down, and we're letting the listeners in on our process into how we choose the song that correlates to the episode. And we are in the laboratory where we normally do this. This is where we have come up with some of our most interesting hypotheses about Stapp theory. Namely, the biggest one. Scott Stapp wrote all of his songs about Step by Step. That's the biggest one that came out of this, and actually the only one now that I think about it. So we're just going to stay here in the lab and work this out for a little bit. And you might be wondering, like, the lab? Why is there a lab, and where is this lab, and what are you even talking about, Chris? If you must know...
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask. The lab is a place that we go to do this, and it's not a lab that is in a science building or in a university or in any place that
No,
is
it's a club.
official. It's actually, well, it is a club in a way. It's a fitness club, and it's the basement of a Planet Fitness. And do they know we're here? No.
Of course not.
Are we going to tell them that we're here? No. That's not the plan.
No. We come here for the free bagels.
We come here because they have pizza every Monday night, which
Yeah.
is insane for a gym to do, but they do it. And so whatever. And the main reason we've come here is because it is the judgment-free zone.
And they're not going to judge us for what we're doing in the lab.
Right. And I assume that also means that you can't be prosecuted for breaking the law on these grounds, right?
Well, if they're not even
Judgment-free.
judging
Yeah.
you.
So no judges allowed. That's how I take that.
Do you think that there's no judges allowed to work out at Planet Fitness?
I've never seen one there.
I've never seen.
Listen.
RBG there.
I've never seen Ruth Bader Ginsburg at Planet Fitness. And I've been to Planet Fitness a bunch of times. It's where I do all of my weightlifting. And
you lift things up and put them down?
Mm-hmm. They have a new slogan now. I forget what it is, but it's
You
not.
belong here, I believe.
No, it's something stupid. They made up a word. I forget. Anyway, every time I'm there, I have not once seen a guy with a gavel, a long robe, or a fancy old-timey wig. And to me, that means there are no judges there. Now, that also means that you cannot be convicted of a crime
Correct.
if you do it in Planet Fitness. And we have committed plenty of crimes.
We've done it in Planet Fitness.
Yes. And so that's the place where we do most of our crimes, but it's also where we have our lab. And so, yeah, it's the basement. And yeah, we've brought in our own equipment. And yes, we've brought in our own chemicals and our beakers and our lab coats and our fake diplomas.
Yeah, of course we have fake diplomas framed all over this place. We need to look like we know what we're doing.
In case the guy who works the desk at Planet Fitness happens to come down to like get the mop or something, which as far as I'm concerned, they never do.
They've never wiped down or mopped anything.
But if for some reason he ventures out here, flips the lights on, he sees a couple of guys with big, thick goggles on and beakers and smoking chemicals coming out brightly colored and
yellow jumpsuits on, like we're at a Breaking Bad.
Big
that's
rubber
what we're
gloves.
Doing. It basically looks like we're making meth.
Correct, except that we are surrounded by Creed CDs. So if for some reason the Planet Fitness guy ever comes down here, we have the fake diplomas, was my point. So we could be like, hey, bro, we're back off. We're scientists, right?
Yeah,
remember that movie?
Right. Yeah, and when you're here, your family.
I think that is their new slogan.
Is that the new slogan?
I think so, yeah. You could also get like all-you-can-eat pasta there now.
I mean, it was pizza at first, and now it's just become all Northern Italian food.
It was pizza like once a month, and now it's every time you go in, they hand you a steaming hot plate of pasta, spaghetti with meatballs. Never ending.
Never ending pasta every single day. And honestly, it's been pretty good for us.
Oh my God, I've been eating like a king.
It was just $1 down and $10 a month, and we are getting fed every day.
I will sit at the rowing machine and just gorge on pasta.
But that's not the point of this, okay? We're not supposed to be talking about Planet Fitness so much and their amazing never-ending pasta bowls. What we're here to talk about is the lab and Creed.
The lab, yes.
Finding the songs that relate back to this and every other episode of Step by Step.
Yes.
So what we do is we take all the Creed songs, we put them on shuffle.
Correct. On an iPod shuffle.
That's right. We put them on an iPod shuffle because that's the only way to shuffle music.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is we just watch the episode and we let the songs play in the background.
Yes.
And then when we hear the lyrics that correspond, we're like, oh, that's it.
Right.
We got it. And what we do is since we've been picking out episodes and songs as we go, the catalog of songs has been decreasing, and we're down to only a couple albums, I think, at this point. We've got some Art of Anarchy songs.
Yeah,
we have some Scott Stapp solo songs, but none of them have really hit the mark.
Not for this one. And there are, and I did say that we were mixing chemicals up as well, and we do that. It's technically never helped in the process of discovering which song goes to which episode. That is mostly done by listening to the song and watching the episode. But I have to try because we bought all this equipment.
We did. And also, if the guy from Planet Fitness comes down here and he just sees two guys sitting on a couch listening to Creed and watching Step by Step at the same time, he's not going to believe that we're scientists. So we have to have the beakers just, smoking at all times.
Yeah, we do have to have a few beakers just smoking. And in order to do that, we have to vape and blow the vape smoke into the beaker so that it comes out the top. It's it's kind of like that project, science fair project that you may have done with the volcano when you were in like 7th grade.
Yeah, like in 7th grade where you basically build a paper mache volcano and then you go underneath it and just vape the whole time so that the smoke comes out the top. You don't put baking soda in and then add vinegar for a chemical reaction. No, you vape out the bottom.
Yeah, we all did that in 7th grade, right? So everyone remembers doing that. That's basically what we're doing here. Now, so Rob, what's going on in this episode of Step by Step? We have to get to it because if we don't get to it, we're never going to find the song.
Cody. He, once again, has a job where it's something he's not qualified for, and you're just like, why are you hanging out with these people? We've seen Cody hanging out with the middle-aged, with the old, and the elderly, with dead people. And now he's hanging out with children.
School children. And Brendan is one of them, which is, I guess, how they explain why it's okay.
He was due for an episode.
That's true. So Cody takes Brendan to the library to lead a reading group. And they all sit in a circle, and Brendan's there. But there's also this other kid that they're showing who looks suspiciously like Brad from Home Improvement. And it's not him, but looks a lot like him.
He's like more white trash, though, right? It's like if you mix Brad with Sean.
Sean from Boy Meets World.
Yes.
Yeah, who I actually don't know because I never heard of that show.
Right.
Right.
Is there a kind of like trailer park trash guy from Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Hanging with Mr. Cooper? Oh, that would be, I think his name was BB.
BB.
Yeah. BB.
Okay.
BB was the friend of Mr. Cooper who was like, I think his dad was dead and he would like talk to him sometimes even after he died. He would come back to visit and like...
so the guy's... Mr. Cooper's friend's dad was dead, and the dead dad was a cast member who would come and talk to his son, who was just a friend of Mr. Cooper.
Correct, yeah.
A peripheral character was having
he
ghost
would wear like
apparitions.
leather jackets and like not be good at school, but like kind of be a tough guy, but like girls liked him.
You're describing Sean now from Boy Meets World.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't know about that. But anyway, this
Dad
kid...
wasn't dead, by the way.
His dad died.
In Boy
Boy
Meets
Meets
World.
Yeah, the dad died.
At some point. What do you mean?
The dad died and he became a ghost.
Yeah, much later.
Yeah. So that's my point.
Oh, okay, good. So
Anyway,
you've seen the show.
No. Anyway, this kid doesn't know how to read. The kid that looks like Brad.
Yeah, so hold on. But first problem here with this whole episode.
Can I hold on for you a second?
You can hold on for me a second.
They sit in the circle. Cody starts reading a book and then says, I'm going to pass this book around. We're all going to take a sentence. And each kid now takes a sentence. And they cut to this, second-rate Brad looking real nervous. And you're like, uh-oh, why is he so nervous? Does he not know how to read?
It made me nervous.
Right. The answer is yes, he does not know how to read. So again, the book gets to him and he takes off. He's like, I have to go.
The first thing he says is, I don't feel like reading right now.
Well,
he showed up for a reading group.
Yes. He showed up for a reading group, sat down, and then when the book started getting passed around, got real nervous.
Yeah.
And so now, Rob, back to your point.
So my point is, this is at the library, right?
Yeah.
On like a weekend.
Yeah.
This kid's parents dropped him off at the library, knowing full well he can't read, to participate in a reading group.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact, I thought you were going to say this, that this kid doesn't know how to read, and Cody figures this out. Cody's the first person in this kid's life to be like, wait a minute, you can't read? And he's like, no one ever told me.
Well, let's think, either his parents are completely oblivious.
And all of his teachers?
They might be.
He's in Brendan's class.
It's not like his teachers dropped him off, though. His fucking parents did.
But get this.
To ruin him.
So, okay, yes. So maybe his parent, well, you could make the case his parents were like, drop him off in the reading group. Maybe he'll just figure it out.
Oh, is that their hands-off approach?
Maybe. But my point is that how did this kid make it to whatever he is, 10, 11 maybe years old, in school with Brendan? Brendan clearly knows how to read, and this kid does not. And it's not just, okay, there are different reading levels at that age. And some people are really fast and read really quickly. And some people are like in the middle group. And then there's some people in the slow reading group who are just need a little more time.
Yeah.
That's not what they're saying here. This kid's like, sorry, don't know words. And we're supposed to believe that he made it to 11 and Cody's the first one to figure this out?
Yeah, this is basically binary. The kids are either great readers or illiterate.
Right. So Cody now is like, well, what's wrong with, second-rate Brad? And Brendan comes over, says, Cody, don't worry about him. He can't read.
Yeah, no, don't worry about him. He's not your problem.
Yeah. And so, but
He's
Cody,
society's problem.
Yeah, I guess. And Cody now says, well, wait a minute, Brendan, I think I am going to worry about this because little dude needs to read. And so Cody takes it upon himself to teach Brad. And I don't remember the actual character's name.
Brad.
It's second-rate Brad. We're just going to keep going with that. He's going to teach him how to read. So he calls him aside and he's like, hey, bro, you want to learn how to read? And he goes, no. And he says, well, then how are you ever going to learn about these cool monsters that I know about from this book? And then second-rate Brad's like, for real? You know about fucking monsters and shit?
Yeah, cool monsters in his books?
Yeah. And Cody's like, well, I could tell you about it, but you're going to have to learn how to read. And he's like, okay, I will. Cut back to The reading group meets again, and here comes Second Rate Brad once again, and he sits down, and now what happens?
The book gets passed to him, and it takes him some effort, right? They didn't make him a whiz.
So he stumbles through, but he makes it to the end of the sentence he was reading. I think the last
word was pretty hard too.
Heroic.
Yeah.
Yeah. He stumbles a little bit on the word heroic. And much like you did before, Rob, when you stuttered and I said, did I stutter? And you said, no, I did.
But what he did, Chris, was heroic.
Wow. And do you think that was intentional?
No.
So anyway, that's the episode of Step by Step. And Rob, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at these chemicals in the lab. And I'm looking at the levels in these beakers.
Yep.
And something seems off. And maybe this is why we can't figure out what's going on with the song and why we can't find a song that relates to the episode.
You think the unrelated burning chemicals...
Rob, I'm grasping at straws.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, and I can only guess that these unnecessary chemicals that we're burning have something to do with why we can't figure out the episode.
What was that word you said before? Grasping at straws? Is that what you said?
I believe so, yes.
Grasping.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you grasp something?
You grasp it.
Yeah. Sometimes you might pull on it.
I do. I do the old grasp and pull.
If you grasp something and you pull it,
mm-hmm.
like if I grasped your shirt right now.
If you grasp my shirt, yeah. Then what?
And I pulled on it.
Uh-huh.
You think it would tear?
Well, I would have to say, let's try it. Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, yes, it tore right open.
Tore
yes,
right in half, yeah.
Right in half. And actually, now I'm wearing like kind of like a Fred Flintstone type of sleeveless thing.
Well, yeah, I grabbed both of your sleeves at the same time and pulled your arms at the wrists.
And they tore off almost like they were meant to. But yeah.
Yeah. And now your shirt is now torn.
It is torn. Yeah. Oh my God, Rob.
What?
You're not going to believe this.
Do you have another shirt that's the exact same one you could put on?
Yeah. That's actually true. But also, did you know that there's a Creed song named Torn?
Yeah, we did that episode 1.
Episode 1 of the podcast, the pilot.
Yeah.
But we've already done that song. It can't be that song. And why would it be that song just because you tore my shirt off?
I don't think it would be that song. You're the one saying it.
Oh, okay. Never. So that was unrelated. So
do you think we should check the lyrics?
Oh, boy. You know what? Just for the hell of it? Yeah.
There's no way that Scott Stapp wrote the same song about 2 episodes, right?
Well, so let's think about the implications if he did.
You think we got the first episode wrong?
Listen, no. There's no way that that's true. Because...
that was airtight.
Someone would have figured it out by now that we have been wrong at least once. We owe it to ourselves to listen to the song Torn and read the lyrics and figure out maybe is it about this episode? That would be insane because that would mean, Rob, that Scott Stapp wrote songs that could actually apply to multiple episodes of Step by Step.
You don't think he's really putting this on another level, do you?
I think we could be getting into Stapp Theory 2.0.
Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I am definitely not ready, but you know what? I'm a little hungry. I'm going to go upstairs and eat some pasta.
Yeah, no, we should take a break.
We'll take a break. Pasta. We'll go eat some pasta with meatballs, and then we'll come back here and we'll play that song and just see what's going on with it. Right?
Look, no promises.
No.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Stay with us.
Yeah, please do.
Step by step.
All right, so that may sound familiar if you're a big fan and you've listened since the beginning. That was the Creed song Torn, the first song from the first Creed album, My Own Prison. And now you might be thinking, why are you playing that? You've already done that song. It's related to the pilot of Step by Step. Yeah, everyone knows that by now. But here we are, just seeing, because Rob made a very astute observation.
I followed the clues.
He followed the clues. He realized that if he ripped my shirt and it tore, that it would be torn, and that's also a Creed song. And why wouldn't it maybe be about this episode where Cody teaches kids to read?
Well, life is a bit serendipitous, right? And you never really know where it's going to bring you.
But why don't we just read the lyrics and see if they match at all? I'm guessing they don't.
I can't imagine that they
Right,
do.
so let's find out.
We're going to have to go through every song. You realize this.
You're right. We're starting. It may not be this one that relates to this episode where Cody reads to kids, but we're going to just read through every Creed song. We'll read all the lyrics. We'll play a clip from each, and one of them is bound to maybe be the one. I don't know. Let's start with the first one. Peace is what they tell... torn by Creed. Peace is what they tell me. Love, am I unholy? Lies are what they tell me. Despise you that control me. The peace is dead in my soul. I have blamed the reasons for. My intentions poor. Yes, I'm the only one who would carry on this far. But so, all right, so let's see here. There's no way that this actually relates to that episode of Step by Step where Cody reads to kids. Oh my God, Rob.
Oh my God, this is it. I don't know if there could be anything that's more related in the entire Creed
catalog. Yeah. Peace is what they tell me.
No, hold on. Before you, my mind is blown.
My mind is blown too, but here's what I think. Here's where we may have not realized this, because it obviously is the song, right? Peace is what they tell me. But maybe Scott Stapp is doing a little wordplay here, and he's actually making that, it says peace, but maybe he's saying peas is what they tell me, like the letter P. And now, when would you be learning about the letter P and letters in general?
When you're trying to read.
When you're trying to read.
You're learning how to read. And I'll be honest here too, what they tell me. Yeah. When you can't read for yourself,
someone has to tell you.
They tell you.
Yeah. And so someone holds up a little card and it has the letter P on it. And they say, what's this? And you go, I don't know. I can't read. They say, peas. Because there's multiple P's, probably. Maybe
it's uppercase and lowercase.
Yes.
Maybe it's honestly the word peas. And a fucking picture of a pea.
Yes. And speaking of peas, we are here in the lab, aka our local Planet Fitness
I have peas in my
basement,
pasta.
and you have peas in your pasta, which was a special order that they did not have ready. And
no, they didn't. And I said, look, I am paying $1 down and $10 a month. Go get me some goddamn peas in my goddamn fettuccine Alfredo.
And the guy was like, why are you wearing a lab coat? And why aren't you working out? And why did you come from the basement?
And I said, judge meant free zone.
And he threw his hands up in the air and walked away. He had no way to come back.
The only thing they can do there is hit the lunk alarm. And I was not lunking.
Yeah, that's the only recourse they have is the lunk alarm. And you did not lunk.
I was lurking. I was not lunking.
We're always lurking here at the Planet Fitness.
Everyone at Planet Fitness, honestly, is kind of lurking.
Luckily, there is no lurk alarm. Because if there was, we'd all be getting that thing rung.
No, I'm pretty sure a lurk alarm is just like ADT.
Now, what were we saying? Peas is what they tell me. So that is little second-rate Brad from Home Improvement.
That's right.
Learning the letter P.
And then he says, lies are what they tell me. He thinks, who knows if what they're reading him is correct?
Yeah.
Right? He's just doubting everything at this point.
Why can't he read at age 11 and no one's figured it out? Maybe because someone has been lying to him and telling him, like, you don't need to know how to read.
Right. Or you'll never be able to learn how to read.
Right. Yes. Maybe that's his
lie.
parents. Maybe his parents are lying to him and he's like, Mommy, can I please read? And she's like, no, you can't. 1, you'll never figure it out. And 2, no one knows how to read. So who cares?
Right. You see all these people reading? No. They're just a bunch of liars.
Right.
Okay?
And
they're just telling you lies.
Now, what he's figuring out is lies are what they're telling him because most people know how to read.
Yeah.
Despise you that control me. Well, if someone had lied to me in my early days and said, no one knows how to read and you'll never learn how to read, I would despise that person when I eventually did learn how to read.
And do you know what they did back in the medieval times?
In what way?
They did not let people read. That was a form of control.
Right.
Because if you do not educate, you can control the meek of mind.
You're right. The serfs and whatnot.
Yes. The surfers.
The peace is dead in my soul. Well, that's just the P's again, right? The letter P?
Yeah.
Okay.
The P's are dead because you picked them.
Right.
And they're in the sole of your shoe.
Yes, and you stepped on them. I have blamed the reasons for my intentions poor. I'm the only one who would carry on this far. Listen, if people had been telling me that no one in the world knows how to read and you'd be stupid to even try, and I did try and I learned, I'm the one who carried on that far.
Good for Brad in this one. Second-rate Brad is a trailblazer here. He
really is,
on
yeah.
against all odds to learn how to read when everyone was telling him that it can't be done.
And here's where I really think it seals the deal. The chorus. Torn. I'm filthy. Did you see the overalls this kid was wearing?
Oh, this kid was dirty. He was wearing a hoodie, and over it, he was wearing a denim vest.
A denim vest. And I said overalls, and I was mistaken, but thank you for pointing that out.
No, it's fine. It's all made of denim, and it was denim on the upper body, and that's what matters.
But it was torn, if you remember.
The jacket, was very torn.
The denim jacket. It was torn.
Laying on the floor, he was torn.
Yeah, did you hear what I said? It was torn?
It was torn.
Yeah, that's the name of this song, Rob. So now what does this mean? What does this mean?
Oh my, yeah.
Do you realize what this implies, Rob?
I thought what he did was crazy enough to begin with, and now he's putting double meanings into songs?
And it's really not just that we didn't gauge how many episodes of Step by Step there are and how many Creed songs there are, and that eventually we would run out of songs before episodes.
Well, I mean, we're not even out yet.
And it's not that, along with the idea that I never even thought we would be still doing the podcast this far in, and so I never thought we'd even have this problem. Because
it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that.
We would only do a few episodes and be done. I never thought that, so why would it have anything to do with that?
No, it couldn't have anything to do with that.
It could not.
We always thought we'd be here. We always thought we'd keep going. Honestly, I thought Scott Stapp was going to keep making music.
Listen, the fact is that if we want this podcast to continue, some of these songs are going to be repeats.
Yeah. Look, the proof is in the pudding, okay?
Yes.
There's nothing we can do about this. If you want to be angry about the fact that we're going to start going through the same songs again and analyzing them again and finding new meaning in them, because of course there is new meaning, bring that up with Scott Stapp, all right? Tweet at him. All right, he's got a Twitter handle, let him know.
I have something that I'm going to say, and it may, I hesitate to even say it, Rob.
Make your P's.
This is a pretty in-depth, pretty deep effort that Scott Stapp put into writing these songs.
Yeah.
Do you think that he even wants us or anyone to find out about this? Because I have a theory that he doesn't. And I have a theory that people kind of don't want us talking about this.
Oh, this is beyond Stapp theory now?
Well, it's the only explanation I have for the number of listeners we have, right? Which is very few. And so I'm thinking that someone's telling people, don't listen to this podcast. And
I think a lot of people are probably saying that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're saying it because we're getting a little too close to the truth. And I think that also maybe explains why, I've been tweeting for 62 episodes, even at Scott Stapp and different members of the cast of Step by Step, and nobody has acknowledged it. What else could that mean?
Oh, do you think the Step by Step cast is in on this?
Listen, I'm afraid to say it, Rob, but I think yes.
Oh my God. So it's not just that Scott Stapp was able to put double meanings into songs, but you think he's hiding this, and you think that he has the entire staff and crew of Step by Step on this with him?
What else could explain the deafening silence of the Step by Step Twitter account?
Listen, now that you say it, there is nothing else.
What could explain
possibly explain this?
The lack of followers on the Twitter account? What could explain the fact that I tweet something that I thought was real funny and nobody likes it or replies or retweets it? What else, Rob, could explain such a thing?
The only thing that could explain this is a deep-seated conspiracy by the network, by Hollywood, and by the record companies, and by the band themselves
And by Rob, I'm sorry. I don't even want to say this name out loud, but Hillary.
Clinton?
What do you think?
I assume you're talking about Hillary Duff.
Well, then I guess that's just going to be our code for. Yeah, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Of course, Rob.
Do you think that all of this information is on our private, unhackable email server?
Listen, yeah, of course. Rob, are you dumb? Did you not even listen to Tom DeLonge's appearance on Joe Rogan?
Did he talk about Hillary Clinton? And how she's an alien?
Nope. But guess what? I can read between the lines.
Oh. I'm glad you can read, unlike second-rate
Yes.
Brad.
Well, nowadays he can, I hear. But, so listen, this is just, I think we've just, what's the phrase? Touched the tip of the iceberg?
Yeah, I think if there's one thing you can say about it, I think it's that we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
And I think that maybe we need to delve into this more in another episode, because I hate to tell you this too. We're out of time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the clock is ticking.
We'll continue this for sure. I think we need to study this a bit more. I think we need to understand a bit more, because right now we found one episode that corresponds to
a song that we already used.
a song that we already used because it corresponded to another episode. And I think we need to go a whole lot deeper into this and really confirm and kind of prove this out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I'm saying that we have to go also because they did just turn the lights out in the Planet Fitness, and that's usually our cue to go.
Yeah, we don't respect many of the rules here at Planet Fitness, but what we do respect is lights out.
Hey, listen, if you're not going to respect lights out, then do you have any respect at all? And that's Aretha Franklin said that. But until next time, Rob, my name is Chris McCarthy.
And hey, Chris.
Yeah?
My name is Rob Haddon.
Well, and that can only mean one thing. We'll see you next time. And we also just want to say that we can't stap.
And we won't fucking stap until we get to the bottom of this shit.
Yes, and stop trying to stop us, Hillary.
Bye.
Bye.
Step by step.